I had nothing to send somebody.
Oh,
Nothing
man.
but Jews.
Texting, internet.
Grabbed a bottle and took a boat ride. What the hell?
You were jumping up and down.
Okay, folks,
Okay.
we're going to get started tonight. Thank you all for the folks that are here and at home. I want to call to order the Board of Aldermen regular meeting of June 2nd, 2022. Will you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Roll call, please.
Alderman Becker.
Here.
Alderman Schuman.
Here.
Alderman Rucker. Alderman Ross.
Here.
Alderman Morose.
Here.
Alderman Osteen.
Here.
Mayor Harmerson.
Here. All right, Mayor's Communications, and tonight I have none. Citizens' Communications, this is the time set aside, the agenda for citizens and visitors to address the Mayor or the Board of Aldermen on the topic of any public hearing. For those here in person, speakers will be restricted to 3 minutes unless otherwise permitted. Minutes may not be donated or transferred from one speaker to another. Visitors attending online will be in listen-only mode. Any questions or comments for the mayor and board may be sent to the city clerk at tberreth@osagebeach.org no later than 10 a.m. on the board meeting day, the first and third Thursday of each month. Submitted questions and comments may be read during the Citizens Communications section on the agenda. The Board of Aldermen will not take any action on any item not listed on the agenda, nor will it respond to questions, although staff may be directed to respond at a later time. The Mayor and the Board of Aldermen welcome and value input and feedback from the public. Is there anyone here in person who would like to address the board? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to the approval of the consent agenda. If the board so desires, the consent agenda can be approved in a single motion. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Alderman Rose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Becker. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. All right, moving on to unfinished business. We have 3 items tonight. First is Bill 22-32, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the expenditure of funds for the Lake of the Ozarks Convention and Visitors Guinness Book of World Record attempt for the largest boat parade event support request in the amount not to exceed $2,000. This is the second reading. Gina Woods.
I don't have any further comments, but I know Gina and Heather are in the audience if there are questions that didn't get answered last time.
Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the second reading? Alderman Schuman, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Rose, roll call, please.
Alderman Osteen.
Yes.
Alderman Morose.
Yes.
Alderman Ross.
Yes.
Alderman Schuman.
Yes.
Alderman Becker.
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
All right, motion carries. It's going to be a good time. All right, next we have Bill 22-33, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach authorizing the mayor to sign a contract with Don Schneider Excavating Company in the Greenwood Circle Drainage Improvement Project for an amount not to exceed $45,679. This is the second reading. Mike Welty, please.
Mayor, Board, I have nothing more to add unless there's any questions. Thank you.
Any comments or questions from the board? Do I have a motion to approve second reading?
Motion approved.
Alderman Ross, do I have a second? Alderman Becker, roll call, please.
Alderman Schuman.
Yes.
Alderman Morose.
Yes.
Alderman Osteen.
Yes.
Alderman Ross.
Yes.
Alderman Rucker. Alderman Becker.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Last item of unfinished business is Bill 22-34, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending ordinance number 21.78, adopting the 2022 annual operating budget, transfer of funds for necessary expenditures related to project carryovers for fiscal year 2021. Second reading. Gina Woods, please.
The only thing I'd like to add, I did make one tiny mistake. If you notice on the ordinance, I left out one of the revenue item adjustments. I'll carry that over. I'll do that one on a future budget amendment. But other than that, I recommend approval on the second reading.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions? If not, do I have a motion to approve second reading?
So moved.
Alderman Becker, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Morose, roll call, please.
Alderman Schuman,
Yes.
Alderman Ross,
Yes.
Alderman Osteen,
Yes.
Alderman Rucker, Alderman Morose,
Yes.
Alderman Becker.
Yes.
All right, second reading passes. On to new business. First item, public hearing rezoning case 419, Phoenix Property Redevelopment LLC. Carrie Patterson, please.
Yes, good evening. As the mayor said, this is a request by Phoenix Property Development LLC. They are the owners of Slumberland. And their request is to rezone their 4 adjacent properties from C1 General Commercial to I1 Light Industry. The reasoning behind this is they are looking to expand their freight warehousing and transition operations that they have at those locations. As you know, if you have seen and went out there, obviously you have the Slumberland facility itself and the warehouse that's built on the same piece of property as it. There is the property that used to be Interior Motifs. That is one of the pieces, and that building still stands. And in this particular situation, you still have 2 undeveloped lots that do not have structures or businesses on them at all. Their plan for that is to, probably add some more warehouse area because they are becoming quite a bit of a transition area. We have obviously a lot of furniture coming down to the city of Osage Beach and the lake area, and that's part of what they're going to do on that property. Warehousing and transition and freight fits more into the light industry portion of our zoning code, but retail sales of furniture and other retail sales are allowed within the light industry zone. The difference is between C1 and light industry is that in the areas that are not designated specifically for parking for public, for employees or customers, in the light industry zone can be put together with an approved aggregate as opposed to having to be concrete or asphalt. And in this situation, if they build more warehousing and areas that will be dedicated for, large trucks, semi-trucks, loading equipment, that type of thing, they'll still have to provide plans with the aggregate because drainage is still an issue regardless of what the parking lot is made of. So they would still have to provide those plans to be approved by our engineering to make sure that we're handling stormwater runoff and that type of thing. But not everything will be required to be concrete or asphalt. And that is why they are making this request today. Of course, this is in the area between KK and the end of the old Osage Beach Parkway area or Highway 54 in a particular area of property that we are encouraging some light industrial type of rezoning in that area. And with that, I took this to the Planning Commission with a recommendation to approve, and they forwarded it to you tonight with a recommendation to approve.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions from the board? All right, with that, we'll move on to bill number 22-36, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, adopting an amendment to the zoning map of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri by rezoning a parcel of land as described in rezoning case number 419. This is the first reading. Carrie Patterson.
I have nothing further unless you all have some questions.
Comments or questions from the board? Do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Osteen, second, please.
Second.
Alderman Ross. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. All those opposed? Motion carries. All right, next item of business, Bill 22-35, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, authorizing the expenditure of funds for the Lake of the Ozarks Bike Fest event support request in the amount not to exceed $3,000. First reading. Gina Woods, please.
Yes, members of the board, Heather is with us in the audience today. If you have questions about the Bike Fest, they are requesting $3,000 under our Economic Development's event support. We have supported, or the board has approved, prior year's support. Anyway, I will entertain any questions, but most likely pass them on to Heather.
Heather, did you want to say something? Okay.
Thank you guys for allowing me to present this tonight. Really what this committee does is we are a marketing committee for the overall event. So anyone in charge of vendor villages and such, they take on all of that on their own. So we are truly a marketing and promotion committee that just oversees the passport program, which is an incentive to bring people from out of the area to this area. And in your packet, there should be a list of different states that attend, and that's just a small sample from that passport program. So obviously we have thousands of people that attend the event, but from the sampling of little less than 900 bikers, we had over 21 states attend and to do Bike Fest. So Harley-Davidson did, they put tiers to this event, tier 1 being a Sturgis event, and just after last year, they felt we had enough traffic and enough people to become a tier 2 event, which is huge for us. And when Harley Corporate classifies that, then that really gives you even more exposure. And so we're really excited to see how that will grow the event as we go along. We also want to grow the event into other areas, not just, obviously, people love Osage Beach and Lake Ozark, but they're also traveling to Camdenton, Versailles, Eldon, and we have drive routes across the whole 3 counties. So this event will keep expanding even more and more as we saturate each market, which is the goal is to grow the economic impact for not only Osage Beach, but the surrounding areas, so.
All right. Any comments or questions from the board?
I have one.
Yes, Alderman Ross.
Are you approaching any other cities for funding requests?
We are not. Lake Ozark is the other one that we feel probably has another largest presence for this event, and they actually ask us for money, in which we do not have the funds for, because all of the funds we bring in through the passport program and sponsorships is for marketing purposes. So we are trying to put together a committee that our committee is not involved with to try to help them offset some of their expenses that they have.
So they feel like they need to be paid, is that what I understand?
For their police.
Isn't that
yes.
interesting? Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Any other questions? All right. Do I have a motion
Thank
to
you.
approve first reading?
Motion approved.
Alderman Ross, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Rose. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Thank you, Heather. Moving on, Bill 22-37, an ordinance to the City of Osage Beach, Missouri, amending ordinance number 21.78, adopting the 2022 annual operating budget, transfer of funds, necessary expenses for the Transportation Fund, Water Fund, and Sewer Fund. The first reading. Gina Woods, please.
Yes, Mayor, members of the board. I think we've hit a record budget amendments in the last several weeks, but we did amend the ordinance to address those, so to keep them timely. These are kind of a catch-all on several. These were ones that either were over my approval given the policy guidelines, or were part of projects that you guys had previously approved, specifically the Greenwood Circle project that the board approved at the last meeting. So that does have a net increase for the transportation fund. Unrestricted funds are available. The water fund, a net increase of 32.7. There are unrestricted funds available, and these were kind of in and out. We briefly discussed this at the management team pre-session when I kind of did a snapshot of the budget on where we're at because of inflationary costs and supply cost. And then for the sewer fund, there's a net increase of only $5,400, and that's a combination of restricted and unrestricted because a couple of those line items are part of our reserve fund items. And as you notice, the department's asked to move some funds back and forth. So hopefully this catches me up to this point until we get to the next few months and something else out of the ordinary may happen. So I do recommend approval, and I'll answer any questions you have.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion to approve.
Alderman Schuman, do I have a second? Second. Alderman Becker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, first reading carries. Bill 22-38, an ordinance of the City of Osage Beach, Missouri for additions and amendments to Chapter 405 zoning regulations, Article 5 signs, first reading. Carrie Patterson, please.
Yes, Mayor, members of the board. As the mayor said, this is a request for an amendment to the sign code. And as you all know, one of the things that I do is I try to keep up on, trends that we're seeing that may be something that can throw something like the sign ordinance out of whack as it pertains to what we're allowing to the community or to the specific businesses. In this particular situation, a sign code, the way that it works, and specifically the way that ours works, is it tries to make signage equitable to the size of the business itself. So using their size of their property, their size of their facility, and using those things along with their road frontage, that determines the amount of signage that they have. Okay, so within the community, that's how our specific sign code works. What we're addressing tonight is digital signage, okay? The LCD or the LED type signs that we're seeing become more prevalent in the community and everywhere as far as that goes. And currently what our code allows is a maximum 32 square foot LED or digital sign to go on a particular not off premise, but street frontage sign and so the function of what we have is an inequitable situation in between smaller businesses that allow smaller signs that can have a 32 square foot digital board, and then large scale businesses that can have very large signs, and then we only allow them to have a 32 square foot as well. So basically what this will allow is the businesses that have greater than 5 acres of business property or commercial property as part of their development, and more than 20,000 square foot of commercial floor area to have a maximum of a 64 square foot sign. And this is coming from the fact that we've got a number of them. There's 4 that I've been discussing this with that have all requested the ability to do a 60 square foot sign because they're rebranding their particular business. And I'll throw one of them out. One of them is the Inn at the Grand Glaze. So they're getting ready to rebrand. They're doing some remodels on their building. They're going to put up new signage. And they've got, 30,000 square foot of commercial floor area. They've got 14 acres. They can have about 800 square foot of primary sign, which the ones on the highway frontage will be 200 square feet. Well, a 200 square foot sign with a 32 square foot digital board is a little bit off scale, so it doesn't look right. What this will allow them to do is to have a larger digital sign that fits more with their new signs and still keep the standard businesses that have the smaller 10,000 square foot to an acre lot with 5,000 square foot of building with a 32 square foot. So that's what this request is for. We do have a number of these that are looking to put in 60 square foot signs. Like I said, I can give you 4 currently that are looking at it, but upcoming, Osage Commons would be one that would also be able to consider something like this for their entire development if they don't meet the Metro Shopping Center definition. If they meet the Metro Shopping Center definition, which will be determined by their square footage of their building, of their retail floor space, they can do a 120 square foot sign, digital sign like Deerberg's has. Deerberg's is our first that meets the Metro Shopping Center that we have. And then the regional shopping centers, by definition, the only one that we have in the community currently is Pruitt Point. And to be a regional, you have to have at least 2 50,000 square foot individual stores within the development. So you've got Lowe's, Target, and Hy-Vee that all meet that within Pruitt Point. So and with that, I took this to the Planning Commission, and they send it forward to you with a recommendation to approve.
All right, thank you. Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve first reading?
Motion approved.
Alderman Morose. Do I have a second? Alderman Ross. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, first reading carries. Next, we have a motion to approve citizen appointment nominations by Mayor Harmerson to the Citizens Advisory Committee. Tara, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself from the next 3 items, which are the Citizens Advisory Committee.
Yes, thank you. All right, Tara, please.
Wait. No, it's you. What do you want from me?
No, I just, okay, this said your name on it.
I'm
No,
sorry.
No, that's okay. No,
It's
no.
your thing, it just has my name on it.
All
I'm
right.
sorry, I didn't know what you wanted. I'm like, oh.
No, I've nominated Amy Hernandez, Ward 2, for a term to expire 6/1/2025. That would be a new appointment. Chad Couch, I didn't say that right, Ward 3, term expires 6/1/2024 as a new appointment. Luke Hagedorn, Ward 2, this is a new reappointment, term to expire 6/1/2025. And Gloria O'Keefe, Ward 1, term expiring 6/1/2025, reappointment. This has to do with our last meeting where Alderman Rucker was explaining we wanted to have equal amounts from each ward with expiration dates at different years, so we had people every year up for renewal. So with that, do I have any comments or questions from the board?
Just one from me. I just want to be sure. We have a specific process if we have more nominations than we have seats on the Citizen Advisory Committee. And I'm pretty sure we don't, okay? Because Gina and I talked about this show with Tara. Okay.
Page
So-
109 explains that, Ed. Yeah.
All right, very good.
Gives a full list.
All right. Thank you for clarifying. Any other comments or questions from the board? All right. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Alderman Becker, do I have a second? Alderman Ross, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. I think you get the next one, Tara. Motion to approve citizens' appointment nominations by Alderman Rucker and Alderman Osteen to the Citizens Advisory Committee.
Again, all I did was put it in the computer, so Mr. Osteen, you can take over.
Very good.
How'd you like that one?
Thank you. These are basically reappointments of two individuals that currently sit on our Citizens Advisory Committee. We obviously would like them to continue based on the work they've done. One of them is obviously sitting in our audience, as she always is for these meetings. Thank you, Gloria. That's all I have to say.
All right, that should conclude the Citizens Advisory Committee. Alderman Ross, question?
Only, that Gloria is on this motion and the previous motion, and there's two different dates.
I saw that too, yes. I
So-
think we had both reached out to her, so it's one motion for one appointment.
So is she being reappointed till 2025 or 2024?
That might be my mistake. I know I assisted Tara in doing this. On page 113, I did put the list as those. So I would say that Gloria O'Keefe, I would recommend to keep the 6/1/2024 to keep the balance. And I
Okay.
probably failed to change that on Alderman or Mayor Harmerson's, because he also reappointed her and they also come in.
All right, you're popular.
Yes, she is.
All right.
Everybody wants her.
Any other comments or questions from the board? Do I have a motion to approve? Alderman Osteen, a second. Alderman Morose. All those in favor?
Aye.
No opposed. Motion carries. Congratulations to all. Oh, we got another one, don't we? One more. Oh, yeah.
Not done yet.
Motion to approve citizens' appointment nominations by Alderman Ross to the Citizens Advisory Committee. Alderman Ross, would you like to take this one?
Bob Van Hook, for an expiration of 6/24. Bob's has the coral reef. Him and his wife they're not technically from Ward 3, but I'm not sure what that means, but they can be from outside the city. So they own a business here. So
Well-
I guess the business is Ward 3, is that why it's listed that way?
The way I looked at it
Right.
when we went through this, if they had a home address, because they can represent the community without being residents, but if they had a business, I put the business. So-
Okay. And then Lee Schuman, of course, who has done a lot of great things for our city over time.
Any other comments or questions from the board?
Oh, I oppose Lee.
I will make one.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know. I'll make one comment, though, because I'm very excited about this Citizens Advisory Committee. I plan to utilize them. There's several things on the agenda that I would like them to take a look at. So it's a nice mix of businesses and residents, so congratulations to everybody. So with that, do I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Alderman Morose, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Osteen. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. Motion carries. Now that should do it. Next, we have a motion to approve the purchase of 140 new street banners, 5 different designs from Alpha Graphics for the amount not to exceed $5,070.80. Mike Welty, please.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the board. This is a project that was bid out in March. We did the bid opening in early April. The city did receive 6 bids for the banners. I did include the bid opening document so you could see the bids that came through for all of the vendors that put in a bid. As you know, we discussed this at the last board meeting to kind of dial in some of the designs. The designs that we felt like were the best are the ones that were included. There was two things that we did not include. We had talked about bringing you back an option with and without the heart at the bottom. When we looked at the heart at the bottom, the Osage Beach just wasn't big enough, so we kind of left that out. And then we also talked about a different color for the Welcome to Osage Beach one. We did get one that has kind of a yellow hue, but we decided to stay with the blue ones. I know that there was a comment about the color on the blue, but honestly, I think that our problem is not just the blue. I think the problem is that we just left them up too long. So I think whether it is blue, green, purple, or red, they'll all last at least the 3 years that we're looking to keep them for now. So the 5 that you see are the ones that we are moving forward with. The total cost is $5,070.80. The budget for this project was $30,000, so we are well within our budget. And Alpha Graphics is a local vendor, so if we do need to reorder, they're right around the corner from us, and we should be able to do so fairly easily. I do recommend approval.
All right. Thank you. Comments or questions from the board? Alderman Osteen.
A few, and keep in mind, I'm looking at black and white copies. Going off of the copies, it appears that the font on the word play is different than the font on the other banners. Is that correct?
That's what it looks like.
Enjoy, recreation, relax, and of course, the verbiage on the welcome all appear to be the same font, but in play seems to be different.
That'd be an easy fix.
I would
I
assume
will
so.
note that, yes.
Yes, sir, you are correct.
Likewise, with the Osage Beach at the bottom of each banner, it appears on that
Yep.
specific banner, the color is different than the other 4. So continuity
Bob,
is
I
key.
apologize that you guys did not get color copies. Mike, can you hold up the play one next to the recreation one? I think,
Wanna look?
the play, it might be the undertone and the high tone because of, hold up the play right there in your hand. And then against one of the other darker ones.
Okay.
I think the font on Osage Beach is same, but because it's yellow, it didn't come up as dark. It's got like a code. But we'll make sure they match, but I think that is the color.
Okay, so the font on the Osage Beach appears to be correct. It's the font on the play
Right.
that's
That
not
one we
correct.
will, yeah.
Prior to amending the motion, does any other comments or questions from the board?
I have one more comment.
Yes, sir.
On the relax banner, how about we put a fish on the end of that hook? As opposed to a string going to nowhere.
That is
Let's
a
make it
good
look like
catch.
it's a success.
A large fish,
A large fish.
big fish.
See, I even hand drew one in on mine.
I think we can do that.
I think that would make it look, once again, complete as opposed to a fishing line going out into nowhere.
Some people
All
will
right.
catch them.
We're all about keeping things optimistic, so let's
No,
give them the
yes.
optimism of catching a fish.
Any other comments or questions from
That's
the
all.
board? All right. Alderman,
I presume this cost includes the installation?
The banners are installed by our transportation department, so
Okay.
there is no installation that needed other than
Taking down
our
the
own team.
ones that we already have and put these in?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Alderman Osteen, would you like to amend the motion to include the font and the fish?
I would like to make an amendment
What changes?
to, what is this called? I guess this isn't a numbered amendment at all. So anyway, amendment regarding the banners to make the font on all banners the same and to add a fish.
All right.
Silly. To the banner
You want the bass?
regarding relax.
All right. Do I have a motion to approve the amended motion?
Second.
There you go.
Who was the first?
I made the amendment.
Bob did.
She
Okay.
seconded
Do I
it.
have a second? Alderman Marost. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right. They look great, Mike. All right. Next, we have a motion to approve the purchase of a 2,000-gallon Jet A storage tank for Grand Glaze Airport from Numair Equipment in the amount not to exceed $25,511.99. Ty Dinsdale, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor, members of the board. This is a motion to purchase a 2,000-gallon Jet A storage tank for Grand Glaze Airport. With the purchase of this storage tank, we'll be able to have safer operating procedures and be more efficient when serving our customers. We received 3 bids actually for this particular project, and Numair Equipment was the low bidder. We've done business with Numair in the past and have had positive results from them, and recommend approval for amount not to exceed $25,511.99.
All right. Any comments or questions from the board? Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion approved.
Alderman Ross, do I have a second? Alderman Becker, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, motion carries. Good to keep going?
Yeah.
Tar?
Yes, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
All right, next we have a discussion on Amy Lane. Mike Welty, please.
Well, I was going to say,
Okay.
we'll let Dave Van Leer take that one.
Thank you. In your packet, you should have an exhibit showing the Amy Lane project, an updated cost estimate on the Amy Lane project, and also a narrative describing the project scope as proposed. So as we've done with the past projects that you partnered with on the Special Road District, we were bringing this to the board to show you final scope of the project and make sure we have board approval prior to proceeding with final design and then bidding and construction. Just to hit the high points on the narrative, we intend to rebuild Amy Lane within the existing 40-foot wide right-of-way. We are working with the property owners along that existing right-of-way to ensure that that right-of-way has been properly transferred to the right-of-way so that you have proper ownership of that right-of-way that you're going to do this road reconstruction in. Project scope is approximately 306 feet of new road. That's the total length of the project. 9-foot wide lanes for a total pavement width of 18 feet. Curb and gutter on both sides of the road. Storm sewer at the downhill end of Amy Lane to collect the storm water. The project will be a combination of overlay on the existing Amy Lane pavement and then full depth pavement repair in areas where the existing pavement has failed. You will see at the end of the narrative, and if you've looked at our cost estimate, we have increased the cost estimate on the project, trying to keep up with what we're seeing for current contractor pricing. The increase that we've put down here is about 35%, plus we're carrying about 20% contingencies in the budget at this time also. That's where the $128,394 comes from.
All right.
I guess with that, I'd ask if there's any comments or questions, and then look for a direction on moving forward.
All right, comments from the board?
I
Alderman Schuman.
just have one question. So in here, it says that this estimate does not include solid rock excavation or utility relocations. Is that just because we don't know what we're going to run into under that, or how much that might cost, or?
We don't expect utility relocations with this project. The only risk for solid rock would be the storm sewer that we're putting in down at the bottom of the hill. That's something that we would get unit pricing from the contractor as part of their bid.
Okay.
And if we encounter solid rock during the project, they would be paid based on the amount they took out and the unit price in their bid. Pretty low risk on this project just from the small amount of storm sewer that's being put in.
Okay, thank you.
All right, anyone else?
Just a couple of quick comments. I'm just thank the road district for working on this. This is one that was identified several years ago as a high priority. Glad we're moving forward on it, and hope after we get past this, we can get to Clearwood Lane. That's all I have. Thanks.
Alderman Osteen.
Dave, off the top of your head, and if you don't have the answer for this, I understand. $50,000 increase in the bid from August until May. Off the top of your head, can you tell us, is that in one specific area, or is that across the board increases on all products and materials?
Well, I think we're seeing it in, you're seeing it in material prices. We're seeing it in labor prices. Obviously, we know what fuel prices have done. It's pretty much just in every aspect that goes into trying to get these projects built. Pricing is increasing. You've obviously seen it in the projects we've been bringing to you. I think we're pretty consistently kind of hovering right around the 30% of project bids are coming in right at about 30% over the estimates that were put together last October. So we're getting even a little bit farther away from that time frame here. So we're trying to do our best to keep up with contractor pricing and trying to keep the board apprised of what we expect these projects to cost.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Alderman Becker.
So this project hasn't been bid, correct?
Correct.
When do you anticipate construction?
This fall.
Okay. Is this a budgeted item? Okay. But is it budgeted with $50,000 from us and the rest from the road district, or how?
No, when the bids go out and it comes back and we know exactly what that is, we'll have to address that budget amendment if needed at that time.
Okay, that's all.
Anyone else? Dave, anything else from the board?
I don't think so. If there's no other comments, we'll proceed with what we've shown you here, and some point, late summer, early fall, we'll be bringing bids back to you.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you much. All right, that's the end of our business items. We're going to move on to staff communications. We're going to start with Kevin Rucker, who's not here. We'll move on to Kelly Schuman, please.
I have nothing.
All right, thank you. Alderman Becker?
No, I have nothing.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Alderman Osteen.
Just something personal. My apologies for missing our last two board meetings, the special session regarding TIFs and the previous Alderman meeting. As much as I relish and am honored to be part of this board, I do have a full-time job that sometimes conflicts with the scheduling for meetings with the city, especially at this time of year. Bottom line is, got to keep a roof over my head. So it is just always a very tough time for me going into the summer months with juggling a full-time job as well as responsibilities of this position. That's all.
All right, thank you. All right, Alderman Morose.
I have nothing other than I think we were quite blessed to have wonderful weather through the holiday weekend. We certainly had a lot of people in our area. It was unfortunate there was the wind that was such a predominant problem for fireworks, that's for sure, for Sunday night. But overall, I think we were just lucky not to have a rainstorm and everything else. It was just a beautiful weekend. Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, thank you, and I apologize, because we were going to go and do the administrative first, and I messed that up, so if you don't mind, Alderman Ross, go ahead, and we'll go back to that way next time.
No problem. So I just want to thank everybody that's going to be on the Citizens Advisory Committee, all the community representatives. That can be a challenging and task because sometimes it can take longer than most people realize. And then secondly, I want to recognize Ed Rucker. The TIF plan that is out there at this point has been challenging, and he's probably had a lot of things thrown at him that normally wouldn't have been thrown at him in this way, and he keeps hanging in there. So thanks for all you're working on it, Ed. I appreciate it. That's all I have. Thanks.
All right, thank you. And before we move on to the other staff, I'm going to go ahead and put in my 2 cents worth. 2 things I want to talk about. First of all, the lake race this weekend. Boy, if you guys can be out there tomorrow night down at the dam, starting at 4 to 11 is going to be the street party. And get down there if you can. Bring the kids. The weather's going to be perfect. The races, the opening ceremony's at 10:45 Saturday morning. Races starting 11, run through 5. Again, perfect weather. Bring the family out, throw it on Facebook. Let's make a big showing down there and spend the money down here at Lake of the Ozarks. And the other thing I want to bring out is the Guinness Book of World Records Parade, which is a week from Saturday. And I want to bring this will be the last time we meet before that. And we have the opportunity to put the Lake of the Ozarks on the worldwide map. 1,180 boats in Malaysia is the record. Please sign up. If you're thinking about just staying home and watch it on TV later. Go ahead and register. For those listening online, or those, just go to funlake.com/boat-parade.registration. It's only $20. It just goes to cover the expenses. Any extra proceeds are going to a good cause. So if you can join the boat parade, I would hate at our next meeting say, oh, we missed it by 100 boats. All right, so get out there if you can. Tell people, let's get out there. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Next, let's move on to Gina Wood, City Administrator.
Yes, just a couple reminders. Bob, I apologize. It's also been very busy with extra meetings. So next Wednesday is our strategic planning session with the board. It's a daytime meeting. Packet will go out tomorrow. I finished it like 10 till 5 or 10 till 6 today. So Tara will get that out tomorrow. That is 8 to 4:30. TIF Commission meeting is that following Monday on 6/13 before we meet again on the 16th. Other than that, that's all I have, all my reminders.
All right, thank you. Assistant City Administrator Mike Welty.
I have nothing.
All right. Tara.
I have nothing, thank you.
All right. Carrie Bell.
Yes, quickly, I know I had told the board earlier in the year that I didn't think our city auditors, Hood and Associates, would actually physically be here. They were here last week, met with the mayor, met with your city administrator. We're here in about 2.5 days. We are on this is the latest schedule I have ever been working with. I'm very confident they're gonna pull through. Normally, they would be here to present in June. It'll be the first or second meeting in July before they can actually be here to present the audit, but the documents will be done in June. So I just wanted to kind of give you that update.
All right, thank you. City Attorney Ed Recker.
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
All right, filling in for Chief Davis is Officer O'Day.
Nothing.
Thank you. Building Official Ron White.
I have nothing, thank you.
Thank you. City Planner Carrie Patterson.
I have nothing, Mayor, tonight. Thank you.
Human Resource Cindy Lay.
Well, I thought Lieutenant O'Day would say this, but we hired 2 new dispatchers.
All right.
Excellent, yeah.
So hopefully.
They gotta get through the door first.
We need to sign the offer letters. So anyway, I just thought that was kind of great news, so that's all I have.
Very good. Public Works, Kevin Crooks is gone. Nobody filling in, correct? IT Specialist, Michael? No. Airport Manager, Ty?
Nothing further.
All right. Parks Manager, Eric Gregory?
I have nothing, sir.
How's it going?
Going great.
Good, good. Busy summer, welcome. Yeah.
A lot of
good.
rain.
And Dave Van Laer?
Nothing, thank you, Mayor.
All right, making this easy tonight. All right, this is the end of the open session. Do I have a motion to go into closed session for litigation purposes?
So moved.
Alderman Ross, do I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Schuman, roll call, please.
Alderman Becker,
Yes.
Alderman Schuman,
Yes.
Alderman Ross,
Yes.
Alderman Morose,
Yes.
Alderman Osteen,
Yes.
Alderman Rucker.
All right, motion carries. Thank you, folks.